Hello everyone, today I'm going to be showing you how to skin your fetal pigs in preparation for your up-and-coming fetal pig dissections. Now, although it may not seem necessary to skin your fetal pig just because you're looking at its organs, skinning the fetal pig can actually be valuable for a couple of reasons. The first being when you open up your pig and you're examining it, its thoracic cavity and abdominal cavity can be hindered by the skin. Sometimes the skin is a little bit too tight on the fetal pig and it can cause problems and make it harder to view the organs in the fetal pig. The second being it's really good practice to practice skinning your fetal pig and peeling off the skin without damaging any of the muscles and or organs. The materials we're going to need today is our toolkit with blades, scissors, scalpels, our fetal pig, a dissecting tray, and a mat. I'm also donned in my gloves, a coat, and a mask. Let's get started. So the first incision I'm going to make is going to be starting at the thoracic cavity and go all the way down to the abdominal region. Once I get to the umbilical cord, I can either go to the left side or the right side, but I'm going to want to go around it instead of going directly below it. So I'm being very careful to just barely make a cut here. It's very superficial. And this is because the skin is so thin on the fetal pig that applying just even a moderate amount of pressure with this scalpel can actually pierce right through the skin into the muscle. So again, you're going to apply a very minuscule amount of pressure, and you want it so that the skin kind of peels apart. As you can see, you have this sort of line right here. And what you can do next is you can either take your scissors and continue to cut along the area, and you can either go to the left side or the right side of the fetal pig, like I said, and just continue down. And the scissors are sometimes a little bit easier to use with the fetal pig because you can get underneath the skin, but you know where you're cutting, versus the scalpel, you have to apply the perfect amount of pressure, otherwise you might go through the skin and pierce the muscle. Now, once you've made an incision that's about, let's say, 2 to 3 inches long, what you can start to do is peel back the skin. Now, it's easiest to do this actually with your fingers. You can kind of put your index finger and place it, and with the other fingers you can slowly pull and the skin should actually just peel away simply. Another tool you can use is this probe here, and you can stick the probe underneath the skin and kind of remove that fascia layer and peel away the skin that way. So you're going to want to slowly conquer until all of this skin is off, and then you can move on and kind of take this dissection piece by piece. So you can cut, skin, cut a little bit more toward the abdominal and the pelvic region, skin, and then we're going to move on to the legs. So I'm going to go ahead and cut and skin this pig a little bit, and I'll show you the next steps. So as you can see here, I've removed the skin from the muscles. I've exposed, this is the muscle of the thoracic and then abdominal cavity. I did this by, again, just using my fingers, kind of sliding them in between the muscle and the skin, trying to get rid of that fascia layer. Like I said, I mean, really blunt objects like your fingers or this probe, for example, are really effective tools when you're trying to peel back the skin. So once you have the skin removed at the chest cavity and you've cut down to the abdominal cavity and you're at the pelvic region, you're going to want to tackle the legs. So to do that, I'm going to make a very superficial incision at the base of the leg here. And again, I'm careful not to apply too much pressure because I don't want to pierce through the skin and cut the muscle. So once I have that line, I'm going to do the same thing as I was doing up here. I'm going to slowly peel the skin here. And like I said, it's easiest to do with your fingers, and you can see that fascia right here. You're going to want to work to remove that. So you're going to want to do that with both legs, and you can actually stop at the ankle right here. What you're going to do is you can take the scalpel and cut it all the way around, but you can stop at the leg. So from here on up to the toes, you don't actually need to skin it. We're going to leave that. Okay, so now that I've removed the skin from both of its hind legs, I was careful to leave the skin by the toes intact, as you can see right here. I can go ahead and I took the skin here and I was able to just simply peel it off because it was removed from both of its hind legs. And I'm going to do that until I reach about the point that I started at the thoracic cavity. Once I get to the thoracic cavity, I'm going to do the same thing with the front legs. And what I'm going to do here is I'm going to take my scalpel or my scissors, whichever one you prefer, and you're going to make a horizontal incision starting from one end of the leg to the opposite end of the leg. And then you're going to wrap around just like you did with the hind legs, and you're going to be careful to leave the skin at the top, and then you're going to peel it back just like you did with the hind legs. Alright, so I've made my incisions on both of the upper legs, and so right here I already peeled back the skin, and you can see it's just very easy to pull with your hand, and again, you want to separate that fascia layer between the muscle and the skin. And if you go over to this side here, I made a circular incision all the way around the front leg, and again, I'm just going to take this skin here and sort of just peel it back. So it should peel back relatively easy. You shouldn't need to force it. If you find that you're having to use a lot of force, I would stop and reassess. Because again, you don't want to try and tear this muscle here. You want to just get the skin. So again, right here, you have the pig, and you're just slowly peeling. Just slowly peeling the skin, and you're pulling it until right about you get to the elbows, or just even a little bit past it. And now you're going to switch back, take the skin from the back and the legs, and you're going to pull it all the way up to its neck. Now we're not going to separate the skin from the head of the pig. We're going to stop right about here. So right about at the neck here, and we're just going to make a cut all the way around and then remove the skin. Alright, so I just made an incision all the way around its head, and I'm about to peel off the last of the skin here. And remember, just separating that fascia, and you can kind of move the skin as needed and just get the best angle here. And that's it. So this is the skin completely removed, and now you have your fetal pig that is skinned, ready to go. You have the thoracic cavity that you can cut into to start. You have the abdominal region right here where you can look at all of its organs. So definitely take your time with this dissection. A lot of you, this is going to be the first time you're skinning anything, so mistakes are made to happen. That's okay. This is practice. This is why it's a fetal pig. But again, I would say in this instance, less is more, and the best tools, in my opinion, that you're going to use are either your fingers or this probe. You really don't need much to remove that fascia and separate the muscle from the skin. So just take your time, start in one area and do a little bit of dividing and conquering, and you should be able to skin this pig.